And we already talked a bit about it as well. So the future of Microsoft contracting, what is around the corner? Yeah, like Erik said, now and in an earlier point that we were making as well, the enterprise agreement is potentially end of life. We feel it might take some years, and probably there's going to be a huge transition period for this because there's a lot of yeah missing pieces. But the idea is, as far as we can see, is still that Microsoft wants to bring everything together in the Microsoft Customer Agreement, which currently you might know as New Commerce Experience for CSP or MCA for Azure already. It was supposed to already have been launched for many cloud services, but as far as we know, still only Azure is available. Um, but that motion for Microsoft customers to contract in an EA will slowly move into that program. Um, Potentially with committed offers, which you already have a little bit right now as CSP long-term subscriptions that you can have, but also with things like potentially having a discounted offer if you are a larger customer, what you have now in the EA, for instance. Those are things that we feel potentially will be added to CSP. You see it already happening also with SPLA, that many of the CSP hoster exceptions that they are currently creating are all to bring that program in line with SPLA. So I still feel that SPLA is going to be end of life at some point as well, when the two programs are identical and overlap in most items. And we think that happens then afterwards for the EA as well. We're talking probably still years. So especially with customers like Fortune 500 companies who have very bespoke, custom, tailor-made agreements, that they will be the last to move. Indirect customers potentially as well. Because like governmental frameworks and things like that, those usually aren't immediately possible in such a new program. But for the low-hanging fruit, meaning Microsoft customers with no special contractual clauses in their EA, this move might come sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Again, we
No,
don't have that magic 8 ball, but we feel that this is part of I think the next year, 2 years, something like that.
yeah. I think they already have decided internally, because what we see is a heavy pushback on 5-year agreements without a very concrete reason why. So yeah, they are doing that probably because of the price increases that have been followed up in quite a pace in the past few 1.5 years, but probably also because something new is coming up, and they're really pushing back on that 5-year agreement structure. So I think it's sooner than later, especially for the level A, B, and C clients with little to no amendments in the structure that will be eligible for the new program. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised by the average response on the price increases. I have anticipated a lot of pushback on it from every client, but clients typically accept it. So they will probably accept a new contract model and licensing model as well. So I don't see that. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not a downside to have a new contractual model. The enterprise agreement is an old beast. Like there's a lot of issues with things that you aren't easily able to do right now. Multiple
hmm
tenants, structured billings, you name it. Like the MCA billing model for Azure, it's no, not perfect, but it's way better than what
Yeah.
you're used to if you have Azure in an EA. But yeah, is it worth it already to move there, as long as you don't have the same level of security that you might have in your EA with regards to price, at least. So if you don't have that motion where you can lock in your prices for multiple years, then is it worth it to move to such a model yet? Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah, you need to outweigh the risks and the benefits that you have with it. So I feel that when Microsoft is good and ready, and I hope to learn something soon,
Yeah.
that this will be something that some customers might be happy with. Right now, it's a bit thin. As you buy an EA, or you go to CSP, or you do a mix of both. And I'm not that happy with opening up that entire world where everybody can be a Microsoft partner, because there's a lot of crap out there that's just
There is.
there for their own margins. So if you get something in between there, something that is easy to set up,
Yeah.
manage, and control, and you can do it directly with Microsoft, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just anticipate that the more traditional companies, for instance, we've seen them all, the companies that are still doing everything by a physical signature and, for instance, a fax, maybe even, that will be challenging to adapt to a new model. But I fully agree. A new model is more than welcome because of the practical stuff going on in a negotiation. It shouldn't take 3 weeks to complete the paperwork. So that's something they should adjust very fast.